Yo guys, what is going on? JPS back for another video, and today we're going to be reacting to the top 10 places to visit in Scotland. And this is some direct trip research here because when I'm back in the UK, I do plan on going back to Scotland. Not sure about Edinburgh, but I'm definitely going to be in Glasgow, and I really want to go up north to, the Isle of Skye and all the beautiful Scottish Highlands up there, the beautiful views that come with that. So this will be some ideas for places for us to go when we're in Scotland. Of course, the rails, it needs to be in some type of proximity to the rails, but I'm sure I can figure something out and use something from this video for inspiration to where I'll go in Scotland. So also, if you guys are from Scotland or have visited Scotland and you think there's a place that I need to go, throw it in the comments down below. With that being said, hit the like button, guys, hit subscribe, and consider joining the Patreon. First link in description for full reactions to British movies and shows. Along with that, I will be posting exclusive extra footage from my trip to Britain this summer, like I did last summer. And again, anything I've ever put up there, you get access to it. So you're going to get access to, at this point, a couple years worth of content, and I'm still posting. So yeah, guys, I'd really appreciate the support. Completely up to you. With that being said, we're going to get right into the video.
What's up, guys? My name is Ryan, and last summer I did a road trip around Scotland, and I want to show you my favorite places. So here's my Scotland top 10. If you want to go back in time and feel like you're in a fairy tale, Scotland is the place for you. It's easy to see why so many legends and popular books such as Harry Potter have been born here. It's truly one of the world's most enchanted places. So for our first location, we're going to visit the Old Man of Storr. Now the Old Man of Storr is located on the Isle of Skye, which is about a 5-hour drive from Edinburgh. It's one of my all-time favorite rock formations. I felt like I was on the set of Game of Thrones. When you drive to the store, you can see it in the distance and it gets you like so pumped. It's just such a cool rock formation. Now, to hike to the Old Man of Storr, it's about a 4-kilometer walk. You'll go through some conservation gates and you'll reach the infamous rock pinnacles. I went there for sunrise and sunset, and both occasions were absolutely breathtaking. When I was there, crows were flying around the rocks and there was just some sheep running around. I mean, it was so magical. The legend of the Old Man of Storr is supposedly a giant lived there a long time ago, and when he was buried, his thumb was left sticking out of the ground, creating the mystical rock formations. When you go there, it's easy to see why it's one of the world's most iconic rock formations. I have to say this is one of my all-time favorite places, and I recommend everyone to see it at least once in their life. Just a few minutes away from the Old Man of Storr, there's a breathtaking waterfall called the Meout Falls that cascades down into the ocean. There's also a nice viewpoint where you can get a great view of the waterfall. There's also just beautiful sea cliffs in the area. One of the most famous is Kilt Rock, which looks like a kilt that descends down to the ocean. On the east side of the Isle of Skye, there's just such beautiful coastline there. So after, we're going to head over to another one of Scotland's most iconic locations, to the Glen Fyne Viaduct. So it's located at the top of Loch Fyne in the West Highlands of Scotland. It was completed around 1898, so it may look familiar because it was featured in Harry Potter. You'll see the train going there when it's heading to Hogwarts. So when I was there, I wanted to get a close-up to
I'd always wondered where that was. Yo, oh my god, this is amazing. I don't even, even if I wasn't visiting Scotland, I'd still be happy watching this video because these views are just, look at this. That's one thing I do miss about Britain, the natural beauty. It's such a condensed space, and you can see so much in literally a day. Here, you gotta take flights and go across the country. And I'm not saying we don't have it. It's just, it's really cool how Britain is such a small, really small area.
Hogwarts. So when I was there, I wanted to get a close-up to the bridge, so I walked underneath it, and I was just shook by how big it really was. I mean, those arches are just massive. So after, I hiked to a good vantage point where I could see the famous train go across the viaduct. I mean, it is just such a magical place. The backdrop of Loch Fyne is absolutely stunning, and definitely recommend visiting there. Alright, so after Glen Fyne, we're going to head over to Edinburgh. Now, if you want to go back in time, Edinburgh is a must. Edinburgh is the place where J.K. Rowling was when she wrote Harry Potter. So when you're going to go there, you're going to get all sorts of magical inspiration. When I first started solo traveling, Edinburgh was one of the first places I've ever went to. It's this medieval old town with intricate neoclassical buildings, cobblestone streets, and beautiful gardens. The iconic Edinburgh Castle overlooks the city and is home to Scotland's crown jewels. When I was there, I didn't go to the castle because it was so crowded and I didn't really feel like spending money. Kind of regret it, but definitely recommend go checking that out. One of my favorite places in Edinburgh is Calton Hill. It's just a short walk from the castle and it offers a beautiful view of the city. They have this really cool national monument there, these really cool pillars. All right, so
guys, I was sitting right there. It is kind of hard to get up there, but it's so cool seeing places you've visited. I'm sure you guys feel the same way sometimes when I'm watching these videos. And
while we're still in Edinburgh, we're going to head over to Arthur's Seat. Now, Arthur's Seat is located in Holyrood Park and is just a short walk from Edinburgh Center. Now, Arthur's Seat is an extinct volcano that has an elevation of 823 feet. When I was there, I just saw Arthur's Seat from the distance and I was like, okay, I want to hike it because I wanted to get a view of all of Edinburgh. So anyways, I made the hike up. You'll walk around Holyrood Park, take the short little hike up there. When I was there, it was so windy. I couldn't believe how windy it was. It nearly blew me over. After I hiked to the top, I went down and walked around Holyrood Park and just enjoyed the views of Edinburgh. Just such a beautiful city. So after Edinburgh, we're going to head back over to the west side of Scotland to visit the Eilean Donan Castle. Hope I said that right. If you're driving to the Isle of Skye, you're going to drive right by it. It's situated on a small tidal island at a point where three great sea lochs meet. So the castle was built in the 13th century. I'm really mad at myself because I didn't stop here. When I first drove by it, it was good weather. I just didn't even know it existed. And then the second time I drove by it was just pouring rain. So I just couldn't even go to the castle. It's definitely one of the biggest regrets I have of visiting Scotland. So definitely don't make my mistake and make sure you make a pit stop at one of Scotland's most famous castles. All right, so after the castle, we're going to make the short drive over to the nearby Glen Mountains. Now, the Glen Mountains are this very unique mountain range located on the Isle of Skye. When I was there, I went to the Sligashan Bridge, which is at the base of the Glen Mountains. The Sligashan Bridge is just super famous and scenic. When I was there, I didn't get many shots of the bridge because there was a lot of people on them. But I did get some beautiful shots of the mountains. They had such a unique shape. I love the contrast of the green peaks against the blue sky backdrop. I mean, it was just such a stunning location. Another enchanting location in the Glen Mountains is the Fairy Pools. Now, the Fairy Pools is just a short 30-minute drive from the Sligashan. The fairy tales, they're just located at the base of a dramatic black Glen Mountains. I was just blown away by the vibrant green slopes and the dark mountain in the background. It was just pitch black. I felt like Gandalf was going to run down with a massive horse army, like in the Two Towers Lord of the Rings movie. It was just so epic. When I was there, there were so many midges, which are like these annoying gnat-like bugs that bite. I mean, they're just horrible. Oh. I didn't have any bug spray, so I didn't dare walk down to the pools. I mean, I wish I would have gone. I mean, those pools are just such an iconic sight. The water is so magical and so clear, so that's another one of my regrets when I went to Scotland. So make sure you either bring bug spray or go in a different time than August. That's when I was there. So after the fairy pools, we're going to head over to another mythical location, to the Fairy Glen. Now, the Fairy Glen is a very popular destination in the Isle of Skye. To get there, you're going to drive on this really small, sketchy road.
So it looks like a lot of these places aren't very accessible by train, so I'm going to have to figure that out. But if I want to go to Isle of Skye at least, I have to look at I do know that the Burt Rail Pass, like the train, there's like only one or two lines once you get past, like up to northern Scotland. Like there's not many trains, which makes sense. I mean, look what's out here. But I will figure it out. I'm gonna definitely see some views nonetheless, because I've been wanting to go like further north than, you know, just Glasgow and Edinburgh for a while now. So we'll do it for sure. I'll have much more time this time around.
Skye. To get there, you're going to drive on this really small, sketchy road to get there. Find a little parking spot, and then you just make like the short 5-minute hike to the Fairy Glen. Now, what it's famous for is it has these rings of rocks, and people often put some money in the center as an offering to the fairies. When I was there, I found this really cool rock formation that I hiked to so I could get a better view of those rings, and I also got some really cool views of the area. I mean, the grass is just so green there. I mean, it was such a cool place. I felt like a kid walking around those green hills, keeping my eyes open to see if I could see any mythical creatures or any fairies. It'll put you in a magical mindset. Alright, so after the Fairy Glen, we're going to head over to the Duncansby Stacks. Hope I said that right. Anyways, it's located in the most northern eastern part of the British mainland, just right at the tip there. It's quite the drive from Edinburgh, so it's quite the road trip. It's home to some of the world's most beautiful ski stacks. Unfortunately, when I was in Scotland, I didn't have enough time to drive up there, but when I'm back, I'm going to make sure I visit the dramatic landscape. I just can't get over how epic the sea pinnacles are. Just such an insane location. Alright, so after the ski stacks, we're going to head over to the Eilean Donan mountain. Probably said that wrong, but anyways, I found this place by accident. I was driving from the Isle of Skye down to Glasgow, and I stumbled upon this magic location. I mean, I couldn't believe how huge these mountains were. I felt like I was in Switzerland or Norway. I mean, I didn't even know Scotland had just big mountains. I thought it was pretty flat. The Eilean Donan is 3,770 feet high, so it's just huge. I mean, there's a scenic waterfall, and the valley was just beautiful. There was some sheep grazing. If you keep driving towards Glasgow, you'll pass some more massive mountains such as this one, and then if you keep going, you'll drive by Loch Lomond, which is just another massive lake. This is why I love driving in Scotland. There's just so many beautiful occasions that you just stumble upon accidentally. Alright, so for our final location, we're going to head back over to the Isle of Skye to the Corang Mountains. Now, aside from the Old Manor Store, I'd have to say the Corang is one of my favorite places and landscapes in Scotland. It's a set of dramatic rock formations located on the side of a mountain. Corang was formed by a landslide long time ago. The grass is so green there, I felt like I'm like on a giant golf course. Anyways, to get there, I drove up this windy road. Be careful because I popped my tire because the road is super bumpy. Anyways, I got to the parking lot and I started the trek to the Corang. Now, it was a super easy hike. It only took me like 30 minutes. There's no elevation gain. On the hike, I came across some sheep that were just vibing. I also saw some really cool rock fields.
No way there was no elevation gain, bro.
And then I was just surrounded by just these magical mountains. They just have this really unique shape that I've never seen before. There's little lakes, and then you have the view of the ocean. It's just such a unique place. When I was there, I was lucky enough to have sunny weather. A lot of people I've talked to said when they've gone, it's just been so cloudy they couldn't even see anything. So I feel pretty fortunate about that. The Corang is just such a beautiful area that offers great hiking trails and just some of the world's most outstanding views. Alright, so that is it for my Scotland video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Scotland is just one of the world's most magical and beautiful places. There's a lot of locations that I left out, so much more to explore than just my video, but I hope this helps and hope it inspires you to visit somewhere new this year. If you guys like my content, make sure you subscribe and give this a like so more people can see it.
That was a banger, bro. I really enjoyed that video. And this guy, been watching a lot of his videos. He's traveled to Germany too, so make sure you guys go check out his channel because I've reacted to a lot of his stuff and it's all quality stuff. He does a lot of drone footage, which I love, and it really does justice, I feel like, for some of these more dramatic locations, especially in higher elevations. That lake is enormous. Brings me back to the Lake District. Oh, so guys, I really can't wait to come back. I'm super excited, and I will be posting my itinerary. I have a vague idea of where I want to go, but I have to kind of dial it in and really just book. I don't have a vague idea. I have a pretty clear idea of where I want to go. I have a vague booking schedule. That's what it is. So I just have to figure that out. And then once everything is completely set in stone, I will post the travel itinerary video of all the different places in the UK that I'm planning on going. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Hit the subscribe button. And thank you all so much for sticking with me. It feels like everything's coming full circle because last summer was my first time ever really traveling alone. And I went to the UK with Will. Wasn't even fully alone. This time I'll be completely solo, so it'll be a bit different, but I feel very comfortable in Britain because it's Britain. I feel really happy and comfortable the entire trip, so I'm super excited. Been looking forward to it for a while now, guys. Basically since I got back last year. So it's gonna be a fun summer, and I can't wait to bring you guys along with me. So with that being said, I'm gonna catch you all in the next video.